Good evening, everyone. Tonight we are in the 2017 Lexus GS 200T. I've really enjoyed driving this car around this week. The 2-liter engine has enough power. It's not mind-blowingly fast, but it's definitely quick enough to get you around. And it's super quiet. This car is just so relaxing, so chill. It's really pleasant to drive. And it has a nice chassis with really good motion and body control. It's on maybe slightly stiffer side of comfortable, but it's definitely a luxury car. This isn't a sports sedan, or there's a GSF for that. This does luxury, and it does it rather well. The transmission shifts really smoothly. Sometimes it's a little bit slow on downshifts, or on right when for example, when you're merging onto the highway, it just takes about a second for it to shift down into the right gear, but then once it does, you're off, and upshifts are pretty quick. Handling in sport mode is excellent. You can feel it kind of stiffen up the dampers, and turn in becomes a little bit sharper. Throttle response is a little bit better, and also you get a little bit more. Get a lower gear when you're going through corners, and it just kind of gives a few more RPMs to play with, which is nice. This car is equipped with lane departure assist and radar guided cruise control. It's a really easy system to operate with the Toyota style cruise control stock. I'm a really big fan of that. You can operate it without even looking. You don't have to worry about finding buttons on the steering wheel. The only buttons that are on the steering wheel are for the lane keep assist, and of course the distance meter. Lane keep assist does a pretty good job. It's heavy. It's struggling a little bit in the rain right now, but it keeps you pretty well centered between the lines when it can see them. And the radar guided cruise control is really nice. I found that being a feature that I've been using quite a bit. I find myself in this car just sticking into the right lane at 70 miles an hour and just cruising. This car actually makes me drive slower, which is kind of interesting. And it's nice. I like it. I'm so used to driving, sports cars, or cars that have a little bit of loudness to them. They're kind of a little bit more raw and visceral and engaging to drive, and this is still enjoyable to drive, and it handles well and performs well, but more importantly, it relaxes you. And I'm not just saying that because it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm feeling pretty relaxed right now. It's just it's kind of the car's personality, and it's a very smooth and fluid driving experience, which is kind of cool. So let's hop in here real quick, and I'll show you around the car, and we'll go through some of the features on this particular model. This looks like a good location. The turning radius on this thing is insane. Check this out. It's just, for how big of a vehicle this is, it has a fantastic turning radius. One thing I noticed on my POV test drive. Alright, if I can find there we go. Let's turn some lights on in here. And get out the Monroney. Okay. So, 2017 Lexus GS 200T. MSRP is $46,310. This car, with the Mark Levinson stereo, and the navigation package, and power trunk, and park assist, and rain sensing wipers, and heated and ventilated seats, and rear power sunshade, illuminated door sills. Comes to only $52,295 plus that includes delivery. So 241 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque, 8-speed automatic transmission. Does have paddle shifters, though they're a little bit slow to respond. And of course you've got Eco, Normal, and Sport mode. Yeah, nice car. A lot of features for the price. Pretty well equipped at $52,000. You know, some of these entry-level luxury vehicles are offering a lot of features at really competitive prices. I like the ergonomics in this car. It drives well. Everything kind of comes to hand really nicely. All the touch points are beautifully finished. This is also a really great steering wheel. It has kind of this chunky, sporty feel to it. That's also it's got these kind of indentations around here, which are kind of nice. The door opens and closes really nicely. It has a good authoritative slam to it. Kind of the whole, at least on the inside, it's got a little bit of a bank vault feel when you close it. Lots of good storage. Nice kind of velvet inside the center console compartment here. Just little things, you know, that kind of add up. The way the cup holder cover opens up. And then of course you've got this infotainment system that's kind of a split screen arrangement. You can do the GPS and navigation on one side, do your audio and everything on the other side. You can see things like climate control, stuff like that. And then of course you've got your whole display here as well, where you can go through and find stuff. You can even do two climate control screens if you want to. But why would you do that? That would be silly. But it's a huge display. It's just massive. I mean, this is, it's a good 12 inches. Yeah, I mean, if you want to go through all the features, I would recommend checking out Chris Osberg. He did a pretty good review on the Wine Road channel. Kind of took you through all the features. I'm not really going to repeat all that here, but I just kind of wanted to say how much I've enjoyed driving this car this week. It's really comfortable and really solid feeling. I'm a big fan of Lexus and what they're doing with their vehicles these days. I feel like they would make excellent daily drivers. The more I drive them, the more I enjoy them, and by the end of the week, even if there have been multiple instances where I've gotten into a Lexus and I started off the week, this car's all right. I guess this is fine. And then by the end of the week, just really kind of smitten with it. I think if I were ever in the market for a luxury vehicle or just something with just a little bit more comfort oriented than what I have in my garage these days, I would definitely give Lexus. They would be at the top of my list because the cars are just so enjoyable to drive and to live with. So that's basically, that sums this car up. I would probably be more inclined to get the V6 in this just because of the added throttle response and sound and noise and performance. Or maybe even, if you spring for the GSF, you're getting up there a little bit, but this is a really good car. I would say one big advantage to this engine is just how quiet and smooth it is. My only complaint really is that sometimes the transmission is just a little bit slow to downshift and it doesn't quite want to be hustled. But minor gripe, you kind of learn to deal with it and learn to live with it. You get just it's kind of hard to hear tonight with the rain too, but you just get the faintest turbo whistle in the background, and that's kind of nice too because you've got a little bit of that boosted 4-cylinder feel. Let's go in here. We'll find some cover from the rain, and I just want to show you guys around the car really quickly in the parking structure. And that'll wrap this video up. So really nice steering feel. It's very light at low speeds. It weights up beautifully around corners. It's a luxury car. You're not getting a bunch of feedback, but it's super direct and very accurate, and it just has a solid, high quality feeling to it. Sport mode, it gets a little bit weightier, and turn in is a little bit sharper, but overall, the steering is definitely one of my favorite features of this car, or at least one of my favorite aspects. You know what, let's go upstairs just for fun here. Yeah. All right. Nice high-res reverse camera with moving lines that kind of shift according to your steering angle. Moonroof, sunroof, whatever they're calling them these days. And of course, heated and cooled seats that have an auto feature, which is kind of cool. This car is also pretty good size. It's not too big, so that you have trouble placing it on the road or that you feel like you're taking up too much space. But it's big enough so that it's not like it's the same size as a Camry or something like that. It's big enough to look like a good size luxury vehicle, but it's definitely not a full size luxury car. I mean, that's the GS has always kind of been that mid-size luxury segment. So really nice seats too, very comfortable, lots of adjustability. And then a massive trunk. Oh, it's just enormous. And it actually goes up itself, which is kind of nice. I think that was a $400 option. I mean, it's just so wide at this entry point, and then it narrows a little bit going in, but yeah, really nice trunk. A lot of space back there. Let's hop in the back seat, show you my legroom with my driving position. Decent amount of legroom. I've got about 4, 5, 6 inches in front of my knees, and decent amount of headroom back here too. Really comfortable. Nice visibility from the back seat. You don't feel cramped or claustrophobic. And you've got a big armrest here with a little storage compartment. Yeah. Little ashtray in there. But it's lined with velvet, so you probably wouldn't want to put cigarettes in there. All of the compartments are lined with velvet in this car. It's kind of a running theme. And I like these wheels too. They're sharp. Alright guys, well, there's your Lexus GS 200T. I've enjoyed driving this car this week. I'm actually getting in a Genesis G90. It's the V8 rear-wheel drive tomorrow. So I'll be filming some stuff on that, and even though it's at a little bit higher, actually a significantly higher price point, so that's around $72,000 for the Hyundai Genesis, it'll be interesting to kind of compare these two luxury vehicles to see how they feel. I know when I drove the V6 Genesis, I was very impressed with how it felt, and this Lexus has the same type of quality, solid feel to it. At admittedly quite a lower price point, but it's definitely not as big of a car with as many luxury features or performance necessarily. But still, it's a enjoyable car to drive and I think to live with. So if you're in the market, check it out. Go for a test drive, see what you think. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. We'll see you soon with the Genesis G90, and I'll also be coming out with a video from Autorama here in Detroit shortly. So we'll see you in that one too. Take care.